It's time for the Steve and Kyle podcast with Kyle.
London Bridge, by the way, that was the Queen's code name. So when she croaked the other day, that was how the information was disseminated to the people. So
So they sang the song?
probably a little more of a somber tone.
London Bridge is falling down, my dead lady.
And Steve.
Your last shift, are you going to take, your microphone arm, headphones over the microphone arm, maybe give a kiss to your windsock?
Yeah.
And then for good measure, leave your shoes too.
Now, here they are, two guys who are living in style, Steve and Kyle.
Should go without saying that this is still an episode of mourning, as we mourn the loss of our queen.
Well, there's, by all accounts, still some people who got in line last week when we were recording.
They're still waiting.
Still waiting in line to see, the mahogany casket of a barely fully full-grown woman.
So it's lead-lined.
So tiny. Lead-lined?
Lead-lined casket.
What is that for?
It apparently aids in the slowing of the decomposition, which...
Listen.
Who cares?
I saw a picture of her 2 days before death.
Mm-hmm. She looked great. Well...
Decomposition had already started.
Yeah, Am I alone in that I don't really care what happens to my body after I die? Because I'm not... I'm dead. I'm not using it anymore.
For a while, and I've kind of come around on it. I don't know why. This is a weird, hard-nosed stance I've made, and that's pretty out of the norm for me.
No, yeah, definitely. I would not expect you to be the one to take a hard stance on anything. I mean, you're as fluid as they come. Hey, loosey-goosey Kyle, that's what they call you.
Listen, they call me the lazy river.
Half of that's true.
I go with the flow. Not much is going to upset the apple cart in my land.
Nope. There is one thing to be said about you, and it's that you don't have a care in the world about certain things. Oh. You don't have opinions on most things.
Thank you. It can't be said
enough. Just do your thing and hope that others do the same.
I like to take a hands-off approach to most things. But for some reason, for a long time, I've had this idea that not only when I inevitably find the 5-galloner punted across a room, not only do I not want to donate my organs.
Okay.
I want them with me in the dirt.
Okay. So...
The way I see it, they're mine.
Sure.
You don't need to... What's the difference if they stay in my body in the casket, or if they, end up in the garbage bin at the, mortician or the morgue, right? And I'm not giving them to, I don't need my family going down being like, hey, that's, little Jimmy who got, Kyle's liver.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's obvious that they're not taking your heart.
No, that thing cannot be passed off to anybody.
No.
That's like if you woke up one morning with the 666 on seared into your arm. That's a bad omen.
It's the equivalent of the square spare tire.
Yeah.
It'll get you there.
Yeah.
But it's not going to be a smooth ride.
They would give it to a 75-year-old who only had like a year left anyway.
Right. And this may give you another month or so on top of that.
Yeah. And the way I see it, I mean, they're not giving these eyeballs. Can you imagine giving somebody new eyes? Like, I can see, but it's all blurry, so I need glasses anyway.
Okay, so you want to be buried with, in your entirety.
Yeah.
You don't want your body touched. You don't want anything taken out.
I'd prefer not.
What about just as an FU to everybody, maybe they take out your heart, take out your liver, take out your eyeballs, and you're actually holding them in your casket.
Hey, that's not a bad idea.
Just to show people this is what you ain't getting.
I kind of like that. You know, I'm a big Halloween fan. I'd almost be like a haunted corpse.
I mean, that would be spooky.
Yeah. I don't hate that idea. Or maybe, you know, I could go with the age-old, I forget where the story started. You know, you could bury me face down so you can all kiss my ass.
Whoa. Language.
I've kind of come around on it, but boy, now that you mention it, that's not a bad idea. What of you?
Yeah.
Okay? Internal, maybe, let's say for impractical purposes, external, fine. What is the thing on you that your dying breaths, you signed all the documents, you know, I'm happy to donate to some lesser off physical body, right?
Yeah.
Organ-wise, appearance-wise, what is it that you want to donate to somebody less fortunate? And I'm saying, let's toss a little bit of the science minutia out the window here.
Okay, so it like barring any of the, well, basically, so let's just say that anything's possible.
Yeah. So I don't want to limit it to say, well, I think I've got a good kidney.
Yeah,
That's boring.
I want to give somebody my brain.
Really?
Because I think that means that I'll get to, like, I'll still be in there.
You'd want to saddle someone with that, huh?
Yeah.
Huh.
I mean, it's completely selfish because
Right.
then I'll be able to come back and control it.
Right. Huh. Okay, so you want now a hostile, deceased artificial intelligence takeover of another body.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Boy.
it needs to be like a young person.
I wanted to note that this discussion started in a good place. Where I believe I mentioned
in a good place where you mentioned
a generous place
where you well, the conversation actually started with you being making one of the most selfish proclamations I've ever heard.
Hey, listen, I told you, Steve. I told you that I've come around. Okay.
Oh, look at that!
Yeah.
You're an organ donor.
Yes. I've come around a little bit to the idea,
okay.
but I don't know that. You know what that is? TBD. Because I think the next time I renew that license, it's going to be a real heart-to-heart with myself.
Or just to take you always have a black Sharpie close by so you can go.
Yeah, can I withdraw my organ donation?
Yeah, you just have to initial it.
So you got a Sharpie I can initial next to this and say KP and then like dash no.
I signed this under duress.
Imagine your final legacy. Bad car accident. They make it to the hospital. You're barely awake.
Yeah.
You know, and nobody's in the room because they're really medically trying to save you. And you just grab the doctor's arm. Doc, you can't have my organs. And then you die. So they go out to report to your family, hey, he didn't make it.
Do they have to?
He also made it pretty clear to me to not take his organs. Do we have to acknowledge the organ donation on the driver's license? Or do we follow his last wishes?
Yeah, I think that they're going to follow your what was said on your license because they could make the claim.
Boy, that's crap.
They could make the claim though that you were in shock or something
that's
like that.
That's not notarized, Steve. Okay? It's a few extra dots of ink on a license that I renew once every 5 years.
You sign your license, don't you? It's a legally binding document.
So you're telling me I have to wait now, however many years, until I renew that or get a new license?
I mean, you could go there and just
to tell the state you can't have my kidneys.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So Steve,
you have signed a deal with the great state of Michigan, the Great Lakes state? What is the state called?
Yeah, the state of many seasons. The state of lakes.
What do they call this?
The Mitten State.
Right, but like, what's the official
I think it's the Mitten State, or the Wolverine, not the Wolverine State. I think it is
the Wolverine State.
Even though there's no Wolverines, that doesn't make a lot of sense. The Great Lakes State, the Mitten State, the Wolverine State, and the Water Winter Wonderland.
Oh, it sounds like we were 3 for 3.
Yeah, the last one seems dumb.
That's what my license plate says.
The what you paid for the vintage blue
the extra. I like the look of that plate, so when I had to renew, I was like, Yeah. Here's an extra $5.
I'm glad you mentioned it because enough with the vintage stuff.
You're anti-vintage? You're looking forward, not looking back?
The 70s were a time. Mm-hmm. We're past them. Not just past them. It's not the 80s where I can't let go of the decade that I enjoyed. Mm-hmm. It's been 50 years. Mm-hmm. Okay?
Is that when those plates were popular?
I'm assuming those were 1970s.
Okay. Talking about, for those not in the Great Wolverine, Great Lakes state.
Mitten State.
They introduced throwback license plates recently.
1965. And I got to tell you, you would think, hey, maybe this will be some really neat design. No, it's blue with yellow letters.
It's as plain.
That's it.
It's as plain as it can get.
Enough with vintage already.
Okay, so anti-vintage, anti-organ donation, Kyle.
So, Steve, to go
maybe
back,
put that on the poll. What's more annoying, someone who is anti-vintage,
okay,
or someone who is anti-organ donation?
Yeah, I think I'm going to win this one. So you would donate your... Okay. I know I said let's throw the science minutia out the window.
Yeah.
But for a moment, let's say that in terms of your functionality, right? Like your brain's dead. Okay? You can't donate your brain. What part of you? Mm-hmm. Do you got really impressive wrist dexterity? Is it something you appreciate the way your knees have held up? Maybe you urinate really well. You think these kidneys would be fantastic for somebody who has trouble urinating.
I think my kidneys are pretty good.
Okay.
Wait a minute. Hold on. But I do have that Billy Rubin issue. Is that...
I got to tell you, I don't know who Billy Rubin is. But it sounds like a mobster or a sandwich. Or both.
Okay. I always get the liver and the kidney mixed up. My kidneys are good. My liver, it's not so great. It doesn't process the Billy Rubins that well. I have Gilbert's.
Okay.
Zilbert.
Almost positive you're not making up words.
Zilbert. Oh, wow. I never knew that it was pronounced Zilbert syndrome. I never told you about my Zilbert syndrome.
Again, if this ends up like the surfer in the pier, because I think I'm being conned right now.
No.
Because this is something that I couldn't even...
No.
You'd see me, much like my mom and dad on a computer, hunting and pecking, trying to figure out how to type. WTF is Zeal Bears.
All right. Well, it looks like Gilbert, but I'm just learning right now that it is pronounced Zilbert.
So to recap the last 60 seconds, you have Billy Rubin and Zeal Bears.
Yeah.
Okay. Boy, you're a real self-diagnosing mess, huh?
Let's go back in time 3-4 years. I went to my doctor for my yearly physical. Mm-hmm. So they had...
Nice of you to go to that, by the way. Yearly is... A lot of people don't go to the yearly.
Well, it had been the first time in roughly 10 years, I think, that I had actually gone to a doctor.
So you hadn't quite made it.
Yeah. So I finally decided, with the urging of my, at the time, fiance, now wife, hey, do you think maybe you could go to a doctor every now and then and make sure you're not going to die? Because I want to get married and have kids one day. So I was like, all right, that seems like a fair request. Mm-hmm. Went to the doctor. I got my normal blood work. And they called me about a week later, and they said, "Oh, okay, yeah, we got your blood work back. Everything looks fine, except your Billy Rubin count is high, low. I don't know." Okay. And I was like,
"You're lying to me. I'm looking this up."
Okay,
Billy space Rubin.
No,
what is a Billy Rubin?
BILIRUBIN.
Well, it's already on the poll as what is a Billy Rubin? A mobster, a sandwich, or both?
Okay. So,
there's a question on Reddit from 7 years ago. Who is Billy Rubin and what did he do to my liver?
Okay. So, again, the doctor's office calls me. I think it was one of the people at the front desk. And they said, oh, yeah, the doctor said your Billy Rubin count is off. And I was like, of course, worried, because when the doctor tells you anything is wrong with you, you get worried. And I was like, oh, okay, well, all right, so I guess I have to make a follow-up appointment. What does this mean? Mm-hmm. And they just said, no, it just means that your Billy Rubins are off.
Off being high or low?
This is how little I know about this.
Yeah.
because that doctor didn't seem to care. They
Okay.
thought, yeah, it's no big deal. There's nothing really that you can do about it. Okay, cool.
Because my first course correction for that would be to make sure you have your proper levels of Jimmy Patty melts
To offset the
to offset the off Billy Rubens.
Billy Rubens. Was that Jimmy Patty Melt?
Jimmy Patty melts again of the Mobster Sandwich family.
Sure. Yeah. So I was not pleased with the way that my doctor handled that, as well as a myriad of other things. So I changed doctors. Got my new doctor about a year ago. Went in there. Doc, my Billy Rubens are off.
Were you on the phone when they tell you Billy Rubens and you're immediately Googling
Who is Billy Rubens?
who is Billy Rubin and what is he doing to my liver or whatever? Because the way doctors' offices treat this is so nonchalant and casual. Mm-hmm. Like, you should already know what the Billy Rubin is and why you now need to supplement with Jimmy Patty Melt.
Yeah.
And if you don't, you're an idiot.
Yeah, I was a little taken aback by the nonchalant attitude. So again, I got a new doctor, and this doctor didn't really seem to care about the Billy Rubens being off either. So he just said, yeah, it's no big deal. Don't worry about it.
What was the time gap in between Dr. A telling you your Billy Rubens are no good and Dr. Blue telling you need to correct with the Jimmy Patty Melts?
It was at least a year.
Okay, so while you can rightfully say it seemed like your doctor was nonchalant, you also treated it somewhat nonchalant.
No, not at all.
Well, if you waited a year before really attacking it,
the
right?
reason I had to wait a year is because I was changing doctors, and my insurance company, your insurance company only approves you to get one physical and one blood work thing a year, or else they charge you a ridiculous amount of money.
Gotcha.
So I called the new doctor. I was like, hey, I want to get in for a physical. And they said, oh, well, you just had one like a month ago, so you got to wait until next year to get one. So no problem. Okay. In the meantime, I had researched Billy Rubens quite a bit. And
So you're Googling, and of course you're finding worst case scenarios.
yeah, how do I die? When
Right.
am I dead?
How does Billy come into my body and kill me? And what's the most likely and most painful way that this is going to happen?
Yeah. So luckily, I determined basically nothing. Forgot about it for the next 11 months. Went into my new doctor, and he said, yeah, it's just a thing. There's nothing we do for it, and there's nothing you really have to do. I'm like, okay, that doesn't seem like good medical advice, but you're the second doctor who's told me that, so I guess I'll take your word on it. And then fast forward to a couple months ago when my son was born, I have passed along my terrible Billy Rubens.
Oh no, the Boulin Wall has bad Billies.
The baby Boulin Wall has bad Billies.
Oh my gosh, that's a tragedy.
Yeah. So the pediatrician, when he got his initial blood work or something done, they said, his Billy Rubens are a bit off. And I was like, yeah, that's probably my, hold on, let me see how I pronounce it. Gilbert syndrome. And they said, oh, you have Gilbert. And I said, yes, I do have Gilbert. And then they said, okay, well, I guess we'll just kind of keep an eye on it because your son will probably just get a little yellow when he gets sick.
No.
So
no.
It's basic. It's some kind of jaundice-y thing. I don't know.
But you don't get yellow?
This is how little I know. I think it affects you more when you're a little kid.
Okay, so maybe that's why the doc said, hey, we don't really care about this doddering man into middle age and senior citizenry.
Exactly.
If he turns...
Look, I'm in my mid-30s.
If he turns yellow...
Peak physical condition.
At the sight of a cold, so be it.
Yeah.
So the baby Boulin Wall's got the bad billies.
Baby Boulin Wall has bad billies. That's correct. So...
And to be clear, we still don't know what they are.
No. So basically, long story long, I will not be donating my liver because I don't want to pass along my bad billies to another person.
I would call our medical correspondent, my wife, but I know for a fact she's at a large store with a 3-year-old, and this call would much go over like the lead casket the Queen got tossed into the dirt with. not very well.
But I feel like it is. Didn't she take the Hippocratic Oath? Doesn't she have to provide medical?
We may really be stretching.
Medical treatment.
I really think we're stretching.
Like if she's at the store,
yeah,
and I'm at the store too, and I collapse, by law, she has to provide medical care for me. And if she doesn't,
sure.
I sue her
from the grave because
I don't necessarily die.
Okay, so you're just going to be, hey, might be bad news.
Yeah.
But you survive.
Like my billies are acting up a bit.
The billies reach out and, grab you by the
lapels.
By the lapels and just rattle your cage a little bit,
yeah.
And you decide on, while in the hospital, I can't believe that very obvious medical professional walked past me without trying to save me from the clutch of the billies.
Yeah.
I need to sue her.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
I mean, it's fair, right?
I got to tell you.
Look, if she has a radio emergency or a podcast emergency,
yeah,
and I'm around, I'm helping her.
We'd appreciate it. But in general,
if you hear anything in the background, that's podcast dog Toby.
Yeah,
making his presence felt.
I got to tell you, still not going to do it.
So you're saying that you're not going to call her?
No, and not to be rude, not too worried about the billies anymore. So suffice to say, though, you're not choosing the liver.
Not choosing the liver.
So the liver is not going to get...
You know something? Maybe I would choose the liver.
A real, like a deathbed, a post-death FU.
Yeah.
For
shaking my angry fist. Like
for
when they
reason?
bury me with my fist in the air.
Bury me with my middle finger up. Because I got to tell all them haters what I think about them.
Uh-huh. So, yeah, I think I'd give somebody... I'd give them my eyes, because
You got good eyesight.
I got good eyesight.
As you found out, I mean, you were going to become a pilot for many years of your life.
I'd give them my scalp.
Ooh, okay, so let them regrow their own hair.
I got a strong, healthy head of hair.
Because I would be alarmed if I was walking down the road and I saw someone with that hair. But the scalp you don't notice. If it's the scalp where they're going to grow their own hair, you're giving them a second chance scalp.
Yeah, I just assume that they can peel it off like in the movie Face Off.
Yep, listen, I've seen plenty of horror movies. This happens all the time.
Yeah.
The man named Leatherface was known for it. Granted,
of course,
he was more of the front end.
Yeah, he had a mask and everything.
But I think you could just go ahead and shear the top off.
Anything go bump in the night in that?
I don't think specifically.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So yeah, I'm donating my scalp. Donating my eyes.
Scalp and eyes. Okay, so those are your top two. Boy.
Those are heavy hitters. Those are
nice.
really going to help somebody.
Those are very good donations.
Okay, what about you?
I'm taking everything with me, by the way.
Right.
I've now backtracked on this silly driver's license, and I've decided no more.
You want a Sharpie? We can cross it out
I think, now. And then again, check next to it, initial it, and then dash no. And that will tell any medical professional, don't touch his organs. Because EMTs, first thing they're doing.
Cutting open.
Harvesting. They get you in an ambulance from a car accident. Could be a scrape in your forehead. They're giving you a little push, like, oh yeah, that feels like a good liver.
Yeah.
And then they're going down, like, asking you questions. Even though you're fully awake and vivid.
Yeah. So you have like a broken arm.
Yeah. You pee okay?
You
checking the kidney flow.
Got your affairs in order.
I see you wear glasses. Is that really bad? Is that worsening?
Those just reading glasses. Are they those transition lenses?
What is the? Oh, I'm sorry. For me, I don't know. You can't give him my foot. Busted Achilles.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. Nobody wants basically from, your heart down.
Mm-hmm.
You're just a mess.
And the eyes.
Yeah. Oh, geez. So basically,
and the scalp.
You can offer like a shoulder.
Yeah.
Your arms are okay, right?
I guess. I've got a real shoulder. It clicks every time I spin it.
Jesus.
It's
What do you held together with tape?
well, so this was from back when I was in middle school. I was at a friend's pool like every day during the summer, and we were just throwing rubber balls, footballs, everything, just hard at each other, right? Because that's what kids do. And the doctor told me that I had a partially torn rotator cuff. They did one of the dye injection
so
things.
like the thing that happens to elite athletes.
Yeah.
You expect me to believe you have the same injury as a Major League Baseball pitcher.
Much like elite athletes rupture their Achilles, celebrities,
True.
they're just like us. So
That's true. Okay. So this is more of a commoner issue.
Yeah, absolutely.
That also happens to the rich and famous
No
from
question.
time to time.
And me being just genuinely scared of surgery at that point and being told you don't need it, beautiful, never going to get it. So, but now if I spin, my shoulder in a more vertical fashion, it cracks and pops every time.
How about you get the surgery now?
Yeah.
Maybe you end up like Henry Rowan-Gardner from Rookie of the Year.
It's got to be fixed by now, right? Don't those things kind of, like much like nature heals?
Heals itself.
Yeah. Shoulder is fine. The bigger concern that I noticed when I, during the softball tenure 4 or 5 years ago, was if I didn't...
I want to get back into it, by the way.
Oh, don't do this. We'll get to that in a minute.
Next year. Okay. Next year's my year. Spring ball.
Yeah, here we go. Yep.
I
noticed that if I didn't warm up a ton, if I had, a line drive hit to the outfield, this is back when I would play in the outfield, and I would pick it up and try to fire it in, right? So not just to a cutoff man, but try to get it to third base, pitcher, home plate, whatever. I would have such an alarming shock of pain near my elbow.
Okay.
Like, bring me to my knees pain.
All right.
For like 15 to 20 seconds. That I ended up having to buy an elbow compression sleeve and warm up. Like, extensively warm up. That if I didn't, that is what would happen. I brought it up to the doctor. He said it's like a loose tendon.
Oh, that's good.
That,
all right,
like reverberates or vibrates, almost like a guitar string. And I don't know. I don't want to say he called it tennis elbow. It might be that. I don't think I remember that specifically, but that rings a bell that it was mentioned. It's similar to tennis elbow. So I can't give him the arm. Okay, nothing on the arm. So to be clear, so far, the left leg's a no-go.
Yeah.
The ticker's a no-go.
How's the right leg?
I got to tell you, right leg, champion.
Strong as ever?
Champion, Steve.
Okay.
It's an impressive feat what my right leg does, Steve, to overcome the...
feet. Oh.
To overcome the disastrous lifetime my left leg has had.
All right, so...
I'd be wondering which one of my legs was broken. So, which one of my feet was broken? When I was 4, my brother pulled a real funny joke and essentially broke my foot. And I'm trying to remember if that's my right foot or my left foot.
That's hilarious.
I'm still laughing.
I didn't realize Robert was such a funny guy.
Well, yeah, and it was almost as funny as when he broke my nose.
Yeah.
Which, again, was almost as funny.
Has he ever done anything nice?
It doesn't seem like it. Got 30-plus years of evidence to show no. So let's, for the sake of this argument, let's wipe both legs off the map here. The tennis elbow on the right arm is a no-go.
Okay.
Obviously, we already talked about the hair, the eyes, the heart, no-go. Yeah. So what do you think is left? I mean, even if I'm looking more internally, I'm not an alcoholic, never had an alcohol problem, but I've consumed enough alcohol to know that my liver is probably not an upgrade unless, theirs is really atrophied and, kind of pulsing out weird bile and pus.
Yeah. So
let's say no go to the liver.
Yeah. I think you're...
What do I got?
I think you're just a bag of used parts. I wouldn't want anything from you. I don't know, maybe like a pinky finger or something. You got,
they're not especially long.
No.
And I got to tell you, my fingers, way too much like, what are those, air pockets? Where they, constant cracking.
Oh, me too.
Constant. So the fingers, probably no good. Nobody's going to want these things. Just walking around popping. My knees crack. My feet crack.
So basically, your hardline stance on no bodily part donation is probably a good stance.
The more I think about it, I think I'm doing people a favor.
So that was, for those that weren't able to see, that was you patting yourself on the back for your selfishness.
I wouldn't want to sully up the need an organ list, right?
You're just saving them time.
I don't want this to happen to where, 16-year-old with a bad whatever is finally at the top of the list, and my number gets called at the old death deli, right? I'm sitting here holding my ticket.
Okay. Oh, okay.
And then the number pops up, and that's my turn, right?
Deli.
And I'm dying at it.
Right. The death deli. Can't imagine many have made that analogy.
We're here to help everybody.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'm glad that we got this all straightened out because as I'm assuming I'll be partially involved as the executor of your estate.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't want some teenager waiting, again, getting to the top of the list. I die. They're like, hey, we've got body part whatever coming for you. And then they bring this slab of meat onto the table.
The gurney.
And they do one little slice and they go, oh, dear God.
Okay, well, this one's turned.
They look, they've got the scar on the Achilles. They know the knee has been busted up. They know the tennis elbow. They've got the eyeglasses to show bad eyes. They can see from a mile away, no hair. We haven't quite even at that point, even if, I'd paid for the hair center treatment, right?
The Bosley.
Like the scalp's still shot. They can't pass that on to give it to somebody else.
Right.
So they have to go back into the room, excited teenager. Maybe I can actually go to prom. Sorry, son. The one that just came in is no good.
Somehow slipped through the cracks at quality control.
Yeah, we shouldn't have allowed him to check organ donation. We did. That's our mistake.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry. For you, the clock keeps ticking. We got to go sew this bag of used parts up and throw them in the dirt. Hope you survive through the night.
Kyle, it's a big day here at the podcast.
Oh, my. You know what? Normally I have to look at you with amazement because I have no idea what you're talking about. But today, Steve,
it's a big day.
I know.
I sent you a text earlier in the week, and it was a picture of 2 envelopes.
Yep. Similar. Or not similar. Familiar envelopes.
2 envelopes. You know something before we get to that? Let's just do this the right way.
Hey, folks, viewer mail time again. Oh, here's one from Sally, age 14. Dear Pig.
All right, I sent you a picture. It was 2 envelopes, and it was 2 familiar-looking envelopes that we get on a monthly basis.
That's right.
I assumed one would be from our buddy Trevor, one would be from our buddy Billy Stacks.
Yeah, I am
both
right.
from the Bill Processing Center in Sioux Falls, South Dakota.
Yes. Are they both? Oh, no, I'm sorry. One. Where's the? Are they both from our friends? Well, one shows Trevor not in Nashville.
Yeah, this is where the mystery comes in, though, because I saw the 2 familiar envelopes, and I thought, okay, it's a big payday. Big payday here at the podcast. Can't wait to cash those checks.
Money day.
Then I was at the post office a couple days later, just happened to check the P.O. box since I was there. Lo and behold, a 3rd envelope that looks to be in the same style of envelopes from the Bill Processing Center.
Yes.
So that's a mystery right there.
Yeah, we're going to save this, the newest one, that we have no idea, no details, no heads up. Were you hiding? Was there also a big package? Were you saving it in the main...
There was not. Was there
rec
supposed to be?
room outside here? Huh.
Was there supposed to be?
Well, it's fine. I mean, A couple people tell you they're going to send you some beer. You
Nothing, huh?
You wait. And then keep waiting.
And to be clear, you were going to pay them for this, right?
Happy to pay for this beer. I've talked about my love of Yingling many times over on this podcast.
It's the Oktoberfest season.
It's Oktoberfest. I've never had the Yingling Oktoberfest. We've had friends help us out and send us the Yingling Hershey's chocolate porter that we've enjoyed.
Very good, very good.
And, I thought what I thought were friends going to send me some Yingling Oktoberfest. I don't need to name names. But speaking of Dixon and Burns and not Nashville, we'll get to our friend Trevor's donation here in a moment. But as always, Steve, our friends at the Bill Payment Processing Center in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, sent directly to you from our dear friend and our longest running contributor.
Yeah.
Billy Stacks.
Billy Stacks.
Billy Stacks Jr. $6.50
Oh,
Steve.
wow. He bumped it up.
Money day. Well, listen, inflation keeps going up. August was the worst month in decades. So I appreciate our listeners and our friends.
I mean, look, our expenses for this podcast have gone through the roof.
It's ballooning. And you and I are struggling to keep this thing afloat as we enter month 73 of being in the red.
I feel like we're turning the corner, though.
A lot of people say that in order to run a profitable business, you need a fallback option for upwards of 6 years before you can first collect payment.
Yeah. Don't expect a paycheck for the first 75 months.
Okay, Steve. So now we're going to dig into your friend and listener of the podcast, Trevor's donation.
Yep.
Not mine.
Okay. So, Trevor, even though you are holding a check that Trevor sent us,
Sent you.
Sent me.
No, it does say the podcast, but you get the point. So I want to be clear, though. I'm going to come in with the letter opener.
I think hold the letter upside down. So
the letter upside down.
No. Letter like this.
Okay, so hot dog, not hamburger way.
Letter like this.
And then you lift up and down.
Like you're
one continuous
like you're throwing
motion.
a frisbee.
One motion?
Yeah.
I think that's where I get caught up is I go a little too slow and I stutter.
No.
And so that rips the envelope like a real buffoon.
No, you want to go.
Why don't you give me one more? One good one, do the whole thing. Just do it.
You want me to do it?
Yeah, because I've got one more to really show you what I've learned.
Here we go. All right, so
Well,
left
hot
hand
dog
holding the
way.
envelope out in front of me with the fold on the right side of the envelope. Now, sometimes I'll do just a little
nick to get it started.
A little initial nick.
Okay.
There we go. See, and once you get that, oh boy, this one's shoddily put together.
It's not a great envelope.
Oh,
okay.
that didn't work.
You know what, though? The motion was there, and I'm blaming structural integrity of the envelope for
this
that.
one, yeah, not great. Not great. All right.
So your friend Trevor...
My good friend Trevor.
It's weird. Him and I can become friends again when I have a couple of 6-packs of beer in front of me, and I can pay him for those.
I'm assuming that Trevor did this in remembrance of somebody.
Oh, I know it was last week, so I was kind of hoping it wasn't a check commemorating that. Would have been. Would have made me feel.
Oh, you mean 9/11?
Oh, Jesus Christ!
Because that is from our friend Trevor in Dixon. Check for $9.11.
Do we need to start vetting viewer mail time? How do we talk about this now? Okay, I just got done complaining he hadn't sent me beer. And now we have to talk about 9/11?
Thank you, Trevor, for your donation.
Never forget? I mean how do we wrap this up? Yeah, I don't know. Is there like a thing on the fancy machine we bought that you can reset the mood?
Would you like me to?
Just anything. All right, I feel better. And now it's time for mystery mail.
Oh boy!
You got the opener over there?
Yeah.
Okay.
You want me to play something from Mystery Mail Time?
Yes, please do. We spent a lot of money on this thing. Are you telling me this is it? Those 2 sound effects That's it? That's the peak?
That's all she's got. Wait a minute.
Christ, this thing looks expensive.
No, that's it.
That's it? Those two?
That's it. Those two.
Okay, so I started it with a little, as you recommended, a little nick.
A little nick. And then sometimes, that's key, though. The thumb holding the flap down.
Okay, because you don't want to... I only got halfway.
You're going up. You need, again, frisbee motion.
So frolf it.
It's better.
Disappointed in myself. My inability to learn.
Content.
Oh, God. Now it's,
boy,
now
what
it's
are
a
you
real
doing?
mess just to take it out.
I don't like this.
It is another check.
Uh-huh. It's not a bill. That's
Money
good.
Day continues.
Money Day.
From our dear friends at the Payment Processing Center in Chicago, Illinois.
Oh, Midwestern folk.
A lot of opes. A lot of 45-minute goodbyes in the driveway.
A lot of ranch dressing.
A lot of ranch. Different flavored ranch. Spicy ranch. Regular ranch. Chunky ranch. Smooth ranch. Zesty ranch. Isn't chunky ranch just blue cheese?
No, completely different flavor.
Speaking of blue cheese, I'm glad that this was brought up because I had a Twitter argument with our friend Dan Shike, Steve.
Oh, the Shiker.
And I'm
Boy,
glad
that sounds
that,
like it's
that,
a slur of some kind, by the way.
Yeah, boy, should we? Let's bleep it. Let's timestamp that and bleep it, just in case. Okay? Because Dan Shike has finally checked in for Money Day.
Okay, all right.
Not just Dan, but his lovely bride, Megan.
Thank you, Megan.
The far better half.
Oh,
the more talented half.
What is wrong with you? You're
time to listen. They still have a Christmas tree up. I'm almost assured of this, and I think 80% of it is because that big-haired idiot wants to spite me. Mm-hmm. Okay.
What do we got?
Dan and Megan checking in with $11.49, Steve.
$11.49.
That is Money Day. That officially.
This is officially the first month in 73 months?
Like 6 years.
Hold on. I could do this math in my head. But I'm not
really,
going to.
I really don't want to ruin this joyous time for us.
Plus 11.49.
But
plus.
I really feel like we can't cash the 9/11 check.
Minus 9/11. Well, we just missed a profit this month. Coming in at $17.99.
Is it bad taste to cash a 9/11 check?
I would say that's one for the poll, but I don't.
Let me figure out a way to word this that doesn't offend.
Is it bad taste to cash a memorial check?
We'll let the poll decide. So save that one for a week. We'll check in with that poll, Steve, next week, if that's okay with you.
No chance. I'm going to do it right now.
Okay, that's going on the poll. We have a few items we need to get to. You just revealed to me as we're not battling a clock, but we don't want to overstay our welcome. I need to discuss with you your desire to revisit softball.
Yeah, there's not really much there.
We need to recap the polls.
Yep.
I need to get that lovely music going, the flight of the Bumblebee, and ask where you are on your rewatch of WandaVision / Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. Mm-hmm. What should we do? What should we cut? What should we push until next week?
Also something... wait, actually, let's get to poll recaps right now.
Okay. If you want to hit that music for me so I can scroll all the way back.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to take me a minute, though, because I think we had a technical glitch somewhere along the way here.
Not just a technical glitch that I honestly, my heart was so sunken.
Oh, and your heart's already...
And I can't handle that.
Yeah.
Because it was those first 25 minutes of tent that we provided this week were among, I would argue, our greatest.
Yeah. Yeah,
and
they were pretty good.
It was in danger.
They were pretty good. I'm getting a spinning wheel of doom, so would you like to do your best Melissa Vaughn impression?
Yeah, hang on. Time to see how wrong everyone else was.
Is that your British accent?
No, I wasn't going to the accent. I was more worried about the words.
I was going to say, that sounds...
God, are we back into August for this, by the way?
Oh, boy.
Yep. Okay. I think we're all the way back to August 26th. And again, our apologies if these are repeat poll recaps. Should we change our name?
I still need to hear your best Melissa Vaughn impression.
78% of the audience, by the way, said no.
Okay.
I think that was our live show. We were talking about going back.
Oh, to Living in Style.
To Living in Style with Steve and Kyle. Oh. Our go-kart's a man's game. 76% of the audience said yes. Time to see, however... No, I can't do it.
You can't do a British accent?
No, I don't think I can. Because I feel like a British accent goes... what's the form of the British that is very... Cockney?
Cockney, yeah. That's like, hey, governor!
Yeah, exactly. I feel like that's the thing that you fall into.
Yeah. Come on, give me a British accent. You're not a good accent guy, are you?
No, I'm a terrible accent guy. I'm a pretty bad impression person and a really bad accent person. Right. Can you play any Melissa Vaughn for me?
I can't.
We don't have any on the board. Again, this overly expensive board. We don't have any Melissa Vaughn handy.
No. I mean, hold on. Let me double check. Was that her?
I'll post on the poll. Can everyone do a British accent?
Top of the morning, governor. Hello.
But that's not Melissa Vaughn.
Right, but...
Like, Melissa Vaughn is much more sedated. Melissa Vaughn's British accent is the perfect level of accent, I think. It's not over the top, having crumpets and biscuits and whatever.
Yeah. I got some good news for you.
Yep.
Melissa's back.
Oh, goody.
And she's not playing. But now she is.
Time to see how wrong everyone else is. It's poll recap time.
It's poll recap time.
I'm way too focused on time, and I can't get the British accent. Try time for me, see, so I can
time.
Watch. So it's like a bit of an O there at the start. Hit it one more time.
Time to see how wrong.
To see. Okay, I think C is my word.
Put it all together.
Time to see how wrong everyone else was.
That was...
Right? Was that pretty good?
That was...
Can we ask for our money back
that might
from her?
Might be your best accent ever.
Find the polls at Steve and Kyle on Twitter.
That one raised the arm hair a little bit. Go back and hit find the polls again, because the way she really brought that home.
Find the polls.
Find the polls.
Find the polls.
Find the polls.
At Steve and Kyle on Twitter.
At Steve and Kyle on Twitter. I feel like the last word there got a little... I don't know the character. Rebecca Waddingham from Ted Lasso.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like my word there got a little Rebecca Waddingham.
Yeah.
On Twitter.
Okay, so back to this.
So piece all that together and we have our new sounder. Mm-hmm. Okay, you can do it next week.
Yep.
If words are said but not reciprocated, can that be called a conversation? 71% of the audience said no. Is Steve turning into the old man in this podcast relationship? 85% of the audience said yes.
I don't remember what that was in reference to.
During the live show.
I believe it. I believe it, though.
What is more childish? 65% of the audience said monster truck show instead of haunted house.
Okay.
Hard to argue. I mean... grown men sitting in stands watching big tires go vroom.
As opposed to grown men walking through a house with streamers on it going, woo.
I'll hear none of it. 65% of the audience said monster truck show.
You know something? I apologize.
So it is written. Do most hate Kyle? 60.5% of the audience decided to hurt my feelings. Say yes. Is there anything better than a good sweat? 72% of the audience said yes. Does the Children of the Solstice sound like a cult?
Yes.
97.2% of the audience said yes. What would you pick? Your options were seat or floor. 88.6% of the audience picked the seat.
Okay, that's good.
As seems likely. That wraps up our live show. Okay, we're into September. Is Captain Hatchet, the crazed fire captain with a hook for a hand and an umbrella for a foot, a good horror icon? 69% of the audience said yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is a bowl of shirt vomit the only way to contain it?
Okay, so that must have been when Evelyn barfed in the back of the car.
That's right. 80.4% of the audience said yes. Do you do your middle of the night bathroom and kitchen visits in the dark? 80.8% of the audience said yes. Can we innovate the vomit game?
Look, I think any game can be innovated.
Honestly, it's on us, you and I, to find that niche that we can actually do and innovate. 55.6% of the audience said yes. Is a guillotine barf sink the next best vomit invention?
Oh my God, I forgot about that. Such a good idea.
64% of the audience said yes. What is more efficient? Standing or sitting / kneeling vomit?
Standing.
71.4% of the audience are telling you that the guillotine barf sink is not a good invention because sitting and kneeling is the more efficient way to vomit. I disagree.
Completely disagree.
I would prefer to stand.
Welcome to the winning team.
Is the proper counting order A, 2, then blue? 76% of the audience said yes. Will you do whatever it takes to not check a bag?
Yeah.
80% of the audience said yes. Should Steve have taken advantage of the breast pump situation?
It sounds weird when you put it like that.
78% of the audience said yes.
Oh, yeah, I can't disagree.
What is the most ridiculous food to be eating on a 9 a.m. flight? Your options were oatmeal, corn on the cob, deviled eggs, and fish. Coming in the last, a bowl of oatmeal, 3.7%.
Yeah, that would, I mean, a morning flight, oatmeal. Yeah.
Second to last, so third place, 24% of the vote, corn on the cob. The actual,
Really?
what I actually saw in the flesh.
That surprises me.
Second place, 33.3% was deviled eggs. And the winner, with almost 39% of the vote, Steve, was fish. What's the proper way to phrase it? Corn on the cobs, corns on the cob, corns on the cobs. In last place with 16% was corns on the cobs. I think that's my preferred way to say it.
Me too. Hey, can you pick up some corns on the cobs on your way home from work?
In second place with 30% of the vote, corns on the cob. And the winner, with a majority, 54% of the vote, corn on the cobs.
You know, I disagree, but I guess it is
The
what it
polls
is.
are here. Is Nikki not loving cannoli the most offensive thing that's ever offended? I don't even know if I want to read these results because the results were bastardized by her quote tweeting that poll and having her own
Really?
friends and followers.
Oh, so she had an
Vote.
army.
That's right.
Is that like our most commented on poll ever?
This week, yes. And with 53% of the audience voting no, that is not the most offensive thing. So I honestly take that as a bit of a win, knowing that those results were so tinkered with.
Skewed. Yeah.
I know for a fact we won that. We're chalking this one up, Steve, as a win for us.
Sometimes a loss is a win.
I had two
Thomas
cannoli.
Jefferson said that.
Put that on the poll as well. I had two cannolis in Boston, and I went into that first one with fear from her opinion, thinking, have I been wrong? And was I so just astray 5 years ago in Boston that I actually don't think they're good? And I loved them.
Well, by the way, I have an update on our
Oh my God, Uncle Gussie's.
acquisition of Gussie's. My mom put in some intel, put in
Okay.
some work to see if they ship them.
Yeah.
They currently do not, but they are working on packaging that will make that possible.
Okay.
So my mom was actually here the last couple of days.
Okay, that's what I
Left-
thought that was our initial plan, was that we were going to get some of Gussie's from your mom.
Left early this morning, though. She had said that she was going to stop at another store and pick up, because you can buy the shells and then the filling separately. Because if you if you put them together, they don't last a long time. Like the shell ends up getting kind of soggy. So she was going to bring them separately. Completely forgot, but I told her, not a problem, because we need Gussies.
Yeah, I don't want the at-home,
Make them yourself.
Kroger, whatever, grocery chain. That's not how I'm doing this.
No.
I need Uncle Gussie to put these together.
Yeah. All right, so I think that what needs to happen is at some point, maybe this fall, we need to fly to Philly. Mm-hmm. Maybe catch an Eagles game with my brother. Mm-hmm. Go to Gussie's for a cannoli. Stop at one of the cheesesteak places.
Both. One has a better meat. One has a better bread. I'll let you decide.
And then, and I'll let you judge.
Okay.
Who makes the superior cannoli? Because I'd be shocked if you didn't pick Gussie.
I would adore a whirlwind trip to Philadelphia to have a cheesesteak and a cannoli. Mm-hmm. Dear God, my non-Italian heart is bursting at the seams.
Okay. We're going to have to get you a fancy, like, shiny shirt.
Fake hair.
Fake hair.
A lot of people just call that a wig.
Fake hair.
Is a cannoli guy the best guy to have? 64% of the audience said yes. All right, I'm going to try to speed through some of these because I know we had a decent amount last week. Has anyone ever lengthened their name from Joe to Jose? 64% of the audience said no. If someone died there, does the home become worth more? 63% of the audience said no. On that topic, hopefully next week we will have an update on the childhood home of C.G. Johnson, the inventor of the overhead garage door and overhead garage door opener. Who did more for the greater good? C.G. Johnson or the Queen? Our audience did us proud here, Steve. 70% of the audience said C.G. Johnson. Thank you for enjoying my take, because as everybody knows, the Queen was born into a life of wealth and prosperity and with no hardship ever, and lived her 96 years that exact same way, whereas C.G. grew up in what we look at as a total dump and still thrived to create some of the world's greatest inventions. Mm-hmm. Did anyone ever call her Queen Lizzie? 63% of the audience said yes. Do you always pick A, B, and blue off the brothel menu? 78% of the audience said yes. I think we were discussing your time in Amsterdam.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, not your time. That's not in regards to you choosing brothel menu options.
I'm no way offended if somebody believes that.
We were discussing Amsterdam, the city, how that's filled with brothels and the red light district, whatever. You know what? Go back and listen. Shut up. Leave me alone. Not you. That's to the listener. A lot of clarifications here. Can your top 5 list, not about predictions, contain predictions? 61% of the audience said no. Did you know the Netherlands had a king?
I think I did.
54.5% of the audience said yes. Would have never guessed.
Yeah.
And that, Steve, gets us all caught up in the polls.
Oh, thank God. Well, we are... Oh, apologies. I think...
Did we just lose Robert?
No,
yes, we did.
Yeah,
we're very close.
It's very close.
I want to quickly get caught up with you then. I don't know how your week has been. We haven't communicated as much as we do some weeks. I know last week you burned through, and I got to tell you, Rusty was upset. Me and Rusty, very upset with you.
See, I don't like your two-faced nature of this, how you discuss things with me and you say, oh, yeah. And then you go behind my back. How did I offend you this week?
I need to be honest with you. Until Rusty told me, I don't even remember this part of your recap of WandaVision last week. Apparently you had said you turned it off with 5 minutes remaining or so in episode 5.
Well, I mean, I didn't turn it off disgusted. I was enjoying that
exactly.
episode.
And so Rusty and I both agreed once I found this out, because again, we talk for about an hour a week here. Or I tune you out for about 60% of it. So I missed that in our conversation. Okay. You saying that. Otherwise, I would have been just as offended, because him and I both agree that you do whatever it takes if you're 5 minutes away from finishing an episode.
I'm trying to remember.
I'm guessing it was a parenting issue of some sort, right?
Because I remember enjoying that episode. Like, that was...
This is really where it starts. For WandaVision, if you haven't seen it, it is an out-of-body experience for the first half of the series.
Yeah, very
Not
strange.
Just the first half of one episode. You don't know. This is a show that they really put their faith in Marvel fans, thinking they're going to be confused.
Yep.
They're going to have to roll with it to
they're
find
going to
out.
figure it out. And you do. You start to figure it out.
Yes.
Obviously, I haven't finished it yet.
No.
I guess I just kind of gave it away there, didn't I?
So
I mean,
one week ago,
at that point, I would say.
So 1 week ago, you turned it off with 5 minutes remaining in the penultimate episode.
I think so. I think is there 6 episodes?
I think it's only 6. And in the week since,
haven't been able to do it.
nay, 8 days since, you have not been able to really grind through the 40 minutes.
I got a lot going on here.
This is absurd.
A lot going on. I got a kid's birthday party. We had a first week of preschool last week. I had Daddy-Daughter Day on Wednesday.
At the preschool?
No.
Oh, just in general. Okay,
Yeah.
I see. I thought you meant like...
No, Daddy-Daughter Day.
like day
we
two
do
of
we do
preschool.
Daddy-Daughter dates once a week. Okay. So that took up... I have some other projects that are happening.
Sorry, I'm just posting a poll that is blaming parenting for not watching a 40-minute episode of a TV show, a cop-out.
Oh, God. Absolutely. That's the best thing about having kids. You can blame them for everything. Hey, do you want to come to the T-ball game for my, third cousin? No, sorry. Got this kid.
Yeah, I got 2 of them now. Can
Real
you believe
sick.
it? One keeps pooping, the other one's in preschool.
Look, as Rusty can attest to, as, a parent with 2 children, not just some schmuck with one, the work doesn't just double.
Okay. So
The work
more
actually
than double then?
it actually quadruples. Maybe one day you'll be able to attest to that, but as for right now,
I gotta tell you, this feels oddly insulting. Can I get your word? This time next week.
I think that this is why I didn't finish it up last week, because I do better when you give me an assignment.
Okay.
So
I need your word.
And I don't think that this happened last week. I don't think that you did
Yeah. You need the tough talk.
I
you need
do.
I need you to buckle down. Listen,
I need homework. I need homework. I need you to say, I need you to write on the blackboard.
Yeah.
All right, class. Your homework for this week is...
This bit is hinging on you. We are teetering on the edge. Okay?
Disaster.
Much like Gamora on that cliff with Thanos in Avengers Endgame, where he shoves her off so he can get the infinite... Oh, for God's sake. This bit is dying.
Cliff,
and it's dying.
Didn't Cliff throw someone off the cliff?
Yep. Cliff Clavin. Cheers fame. Oh, little known fact, Normie. And then shove Gamora off the cliff.
Big cameo. Little talked about.
This bit is hinging on, I would argue, this week.
Where would I be if I had not...
Oh, for God's sake.
We would have been done, right?
Yeah, I have. If we had not done WandaVision and you had kept to your one a week...
Yeah.
I'll even give you a 1 week cushion because Brother Mike was here in the fam. So you would have been... I'll say this. Shang-Chi should have been watched...
Like 6 weeks ago.
August 2nd. So 6 weeks ago.
Yeah.
You would have been done with every movie 3 weeks ago.
What about the shows, though? Because you were going to give me at least a week.
I had pared the shows down to WandaVision and Loki.
How many were there? Like,
there's WandaVision, Falcon Winter Soldier. There's Loki. There's Hawkeye.
I like Hawkeye.
Boy,
Good old Cliff.
Please don't get upset. I know I'm missing some. Apologies. The new one, She-Hulk.
Don't worry.
Just started.
You and Rusty will just get mad at you.
I would say there's probably 8 TV shows in total.
Oh.
And I have pared them down for you to 2.
But what I don't understand is, because you're telling me that I need to watch WandaVision and Loki in order to understand
the future and what's going on, yes.
How do you know, though?
Based on the movies that have already been released since then.
So
WandaVision is WandaVision is the only timely one. Mm-hmm. I know for a fact you need to watch Loki for the next 3 years of Marvel movies and stuff coming out because of what that sets up and how it sets it up. So that's why I said, let's watch WandaVision the next 4 movies before I care about Loki in terms of a timeliness.
All right.
So,
all right, so what is my assignment?
I need next week.
Next week.
It's going to be rough.
Okay.
I need the one episode of WandaVision completed.
1.5. Well, I'm probably going to rewatch the...
You think you're going to rewatch 5? Or
I
the
will.
first half of 5?
Yeah, I'll rewatch the first half of it.
I need you to finish WandaVision. I need you to make an effort at Shang-Chi. And by an effort, I need you to watch an hour of Shang-Chi. I know you're a completionist, which flies in the direct face of you stopping an episode with 5 minutes remaining last week.
I am... I know I'm going to offend some.
Mm-hmm.
But believe it or not, I have more important things in my life.
Or how about this? Because I'll be willing to make a trade with you for this week.
Okay.
Do you just want to watch Shang-Chi and push WandaVision?
No,
finishing
no.
that? Okay.
No.
I'm just trying to give you an out
Look,
here.
I am good. I kind of blame this on you.
Go on.
Well, I've already said because you haven't given me an assignment.
But then if I give you an assignment, like I did 2 weeks ago, you just ignore it.
I don't remember that.
Is it too much? I want to know now, before you fail this homework.
I just don't remember.
Before you fail this homework, is it too much to ask you right now to watch the 1+ episode of WandaVision and a movie? I want to know.
No.
Because if I want to come in here
and
next
if
Sunday,
you had told me this weeks ago,
2 weeks ago,
I would have done it. But here I am. I'm just waiting. I'm a sponge. I'm just waiting
Next
to
week,
be fed the info. Like
if-
sponges get fed.
if in fact you do this assignment next week.
Oh, do I get like extra credit or something?
Oh, God, no. This will be your first Marvel review in 2 full months.
Well, look.
July 26th was the last time you reviewed
What did I watch?
Black Widow.
I don't remember that.
We are now staring down the barrel. We initially thought this was going to happen and be an option for Thor: Love and Thunder.
When's that come
We
out?
were going to go. It's already gone from theaters and on Disney Plus.
Oh, that's good. I don't have to go anywhere.
We are now staring down
It's
the
not going to
barrel
cost me a thing.
of us being able to go see Black Panther 2: Wakanda Forever in theaters.
When's that?
In November.
Okay.
So if I'm going to
boy,
put
I don't
this.
know.
Oh, God almighty.
All right, so I gotta watch that.
A movie and an episode
I got it.
in a week. I just, fingers crossed we can get through it.
Movie and an episode. Maybe I'll knock those shows out today.
Oh, don't even do this to me or yourself. I'm so tired of hearing this. I'm going to put this down. So I'm writing it in. 9/27/22. You are going to be reviewing Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten. I'm just trying to figure out how we're going to get to Black Panther 2 and if we're going to be seeing it in theaters. 10, 11,
that would be a nice little bow on all of this because that was
we're going to be just shy, but knowing you.
that was the first movie that was
Yeah.
like the first Marvel movie that I saw in a theater.
Yeah. Knowing you, though, I'm not worried that we will have 5 consecutive weeks of reviews. So I'm not worried that October 25th you'll be reviewing. October 25th, I'm
Got
saying
it.
it
Hold
right
on.
now.
Hold
Steve,
on.
you will not be reviewing
I'm pulling up.
Thor: Love and Thunder on
Pulling up my
October
calendar
25th.
right now to look at my week. All right, tomorrow's pretty average day.
Okay.
Tuesday,
Work.
pretty average day.
Mm-hmm.
Wednesday's going to be out
Okay.
because we got a doctor's appointment for Evelyn during the time that I would be able to
Yeah.
squeeze in a movie.
Okay.
Thursday is looking pretty open.
Mm-hmm.
Fridays, it's possible. Saturday.
This is not happening.
Saturday. Boy, I got a pretty light week. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I got this. All
Okay.
right. So next week, big week.
Mm-hmm. Thanks for the effort. Again, the bid is hinging on you here.
I don't know why, but I cannot control. Hey, there we go. I had done that about 4 times.
Yeah, you did. This thing is humming along today.
We got this. All right, a bunch of new polls up at Steve and Kyle on Twitter, also Facebook, Instagram. You can send us messages there or comment. Or I got to give you an update next week on the status of the Manchi.
I just put that on our timestamp doc. I was updating it so I didn't forget what we wanted to talk about next week. We need to give a Comanche / parade update next week. Can you give me a hint? Is it a good update, a sad update? Are we going to have to reconfigure what we're doing?
I'm going to give you an update next week on the Comanche.
Not inspiring confidence.
How committed are we to?
Oh, for the love of God. Absolutely unbelievable.
What is?
I can tell where this is going, and it's not a good thing. I'll stay tuned. I'll be waiting with bated breath to hear how we're going to have to fully alter our parade plans next week.
You got a set of rollerblades?
Oh, God almighty. Are we gonna strap the Christmas tree to our backs?
That would be funny, by the way, if we made Rusty rollerblade through the parade.
Oh, I thought Seasonal Sammy was.
All right. Rusty, you got some blades?
Great.
All right. Talk to you next week. See ya.